welcome back to Sweet Science Boxing and MMA here in Hawthorne, California. Of course, this is Beat the Count. I'm your host, the boxing enthusiast, Sean Fitzgerald. Thank you for joining me today. And with me, to my left, we have Compton native.
Yeah.
Compton native, GBO Featherweight Youth World Champion. Correct?
Yeah.
All right. Adan, Temo, Ochoa. Did I get it?
Yeah, you got it right.
I nailed it, right?
Yeah.
I got all that stuff.
Everything on point.
Thanks for being with me, man.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you for having me.
What's going on?
Nothing, man. Just chilling, getting ready for the next one, whatever's next.
Do you know when the next one is already?
August. It was supposed to be August 17th, but they told me yesterday that it's going to be August 24th now. That's a week after, I believe.
August 24th? And
August
is that a red boxing?
Yeah, red boxing thing.
So that one will be at Pico Rivera Sports Arena.
Yeah, it's going to be right there.
Okay. Do you already know who your opponent is for that fight?
Nah, they talked to me yesterday. They said they jumping on it already. They were ready. All my people are working on it, so they could get it as soon as possible.
Are you in camp? Like, are you actively training right now?
Yeah, I've been training. I just helped my friend Charles Huerta. He just fought.
Yeah.
I was one of his main sparring partners, so I just jumped right into camp, sparring and all that.
Okay, so you've been jumping into camp. You'll be training for this. You don't know who the opponent is. So what is the camp like at this point? Since you can't really tailor what you're doing to a specific opponent, what types of things are you doing to get in shape?
Oh man, I just train to be me, man. I don't train for nothing, no specific style. They train to fight me. I don't train to fight them. I train to win. I focus on winning, and they could focus on me. But I don't want to go in there and just like expect one thing and then this guy throws something else at me. So I just go and train to be the best me.
And how long have you been training as a boxer?
Since I was like 9 or 10.
Since you were 9. And you have a pretty extensive amateur background. I think I heard you say it's like 97 fights?
Yeah, I got like 97 amateur fights.
Okay. And you were competing since you were 9 or 10 too, or did you start competition like later in the teens?
Yeah, I started like 11. I didn't used to like boxing, that's why. My dad he just put me in it to get me out the streets. I was always in the streets getting in trouble. And then I used to like the WWE stuff a lot, the wrestling stuff. And then my dad just one day like, man, you want to get in the sport? You can't be in the streets no more hanging out with these people. I was like, whatever, man. And he just started naming soccer, basketball. I couldn't see myself doing none of that. He said, what about boxing? I was like, oh, yeah, that's like the closest thing to WWE. I was really think I'll be a WWE champion. So I like, that's the closest thing. It's kind of like both contact sports.
You wanted to bounce off the top rope and get someone that elbow or something like that?
Body slam somebody or something.
See, I would talk about wrestling and like my favorite wrestlers and stuff like that, but I'll really date myself. I'm going to start naming like, who is your favorite wrestler?
Stone Cold and John Cena.
Okay, so we're not that far off. I have to start throwing out names like Stone Cold and The Rock, and even before that, like Hulk Hogan and stuff. And
yeah, that was
too old now. It's too old. Although it was good. So you didn't get to do that. You didn't try. Did you try and convince him to let you do like lucha libre, like or none of that stuff?
Little by little, I just started falling in love with boxing. I just liked it, started liking it, and boom, I fell in love with the sport before I even fell in love with a female. So
I've heard you say on several occasions that boxing more or less saved your life. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Yeah, man. If I would have stayed in Compton, in the streets, hanging around with the people I hung around with, I would either end up in jail or probably dead. So, that's no life right there. So, thanks to boxing, it kind of saved my life. It kept me busy and kept my mind busy and away from all the negativity.
Do you watch those other sports? Did you watch like soccer, basketball, stuff like that?
Not really. Basketball only in the finals. That's when it gets intense. That's when I like it. Not soccer. No disrespect, but I don't like soccer. It's boring to me.
It's okay. I'm not a huge soccer fan either. Don't hate on me, guys. I know a lot of you on here are probably soccer fans. I'm just not. Yeah. I'm just not one of them. You know what I'm saying? But so the reason I ask, because obviously you're an athletic guy. Have you always been kind of in good shape, working out and stuff like that?
Yeah,
or
I was always jumping around the beds, on the sofa. I was always running around. I was never in one place, man. I was just always active.
Just giving people stone cold stunners and stuff like that, running around?
Yeah, having my mom chase me all around the house.
And so then you turned pro at what age?
At 18. I always knew I was going to turn pro. Ever since I fell in love with boxing, I said, I'm going to turn pro when I'm 18 as soon as it's legal. And over here, too, I never wanted to go to Mexico. I never wanted those easy fights. Yeah. I wanted it over here where the competition's at.
Yeah, and that is one of the benefits that we get here in Southern California. Referee Ray Corona, who was here recently, talked about the number of bouts that we have, particularly in California and in Southern California, and it's not rivaled by anywhere else. Like, we have way more fights, for instance, than, say, Las Vegas or something like that.
Yeah, the competition's out here.
The competition's all here. So you mentioned that you just mentioned that you got sparring with Charles Huerta. You also said that you did some sparring in your teens with Leo Santa Cruz.
Leo Santa Cruz, Danny Roman, Oscar Valdez, Jesse Magdaleno, a lot of people. And I hung in there with them tight.
And that's something you can really only get here, man.
Yeah,
like, you got to be in Southern California to get all those cats.
All those people come out here for that. I'm right here.
So I'm going to bring up an interview that I saw recently where you commented on Abner Mares.
Yeah.
And you had said that more or less you wanted a piece of Abner Mares and that you'd willing to be a sparring partner. And you offered, if you were able to put in good work with Abner Mares during sparring, that you would like to go on and fight Abner Mares. Yeah. What is it? Are you still on that matchup, or what are your thoughts about fighting Abner Mares?
A lot of people don't believe, like, I'm at the level. Like, a lot of people put me down, and it's just like, I'm just a young kid with dreams and confidence. Like, how you gonna put somebody down like that? I'm right there living my life, and I see myself being up there one day because I used to look up to him, and I respect what he did. And you know, this boxing, man, is nothing nice about the sport. So I respect him, and all I respect him is everything he's done, his family, everything. Like, seems like a good guy, but like, his time is gone. It's the new era.
So did you get a lot of criticism for that interview or for saying that stuff?
Yeah, a lot of people took it wrong, but, you know, I'm just being me, and I didn't mean no disrespect or nothing. You know, it's just people don't see I'm on that level, and I feel like I'm on that level already.
You know, and I was kind of saying just before this, of course you do, right? Like, so I think a lot of times, you know, we were talking a little bit before, as a fighter, I think you have to have that fighter's mentality. There's a certain amount of ego that goes into being a professional boxer, which is to say you have to feel confident that you can beat your competition, whoever that is, whatever man they put in front of you.
If not, you're in the wrong sport.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I think it would be really peculiar, for instance, if I asked you, like, how do you think you would do against Abner Mares, and you just said, oh, I think you'd beat my ass. Like, that would be weird.
I'll do great.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So do you think it's the fact that you named Abner Mares? Like, if someone approached you and said, do you think you could fight Abner Mares? Like, and you said, of course I could. Yeah. Right? Would it have been less negative feedback, I guess, for it?
Yeah, because that seems like the right way, and the way I did it was just me being me.
Yeah.
You know?
You are, of course, I mentioned at the top, you are the GBO Youth Featherweight World Champion.
Yeah.
Correct? Around what fight did you pick up that belt?
It was my 9th fight, back in December.
Back in December of 2018?
Yeah.
When were you aware of GBO before that?
Yeah, I heard people talking about it and bringing it up, and then now it's just becoming bigger by the minute.
What do you do with the belt? You get the belt, right?
Yeah, I got it right there, and in my room hanging.
It's hanging in your room?
Yeah, ready to be defended.
Do you bring it with you to the fights? How does that work?
Nah, man, you know what? I always forget, man. I'm not used to it. I'm not used to being
not used to having it?
Yeah.
You're supposed to.
Yeah, I know. I'll be forgetting a lot.
Every time you see these cats on TV, they roll out with every belt they ever won in their whole career.
Yeah, I always forget, man. But it's already stuck in my mind. I'm going to start bringing it a lot more.
You just start bringing it up?
A lot more.
So you are then, I guess, sanctioned, for lack of a better term, by the GBO. So that means when you compete, for instance, in August, you're putting that title on the line?
Yeah, since December, I've been fighting for it and defending it.
How many fights have you had since then?
Since December?
Yeah.
December, after that I fought in April, and after April I fought I think it was in June, and then I got a fight again in August.
So you're staying really active.
Yeah, thank you to Red Boxing Promotions.
Awesome.
They're the ones.
So do you feel like with all the activity and stuff like that, does your body have time to recover and rest in between those, or is it that you're not sustaining the type of damage where you need to take long breaks and things like that at this time?
Well, man, I'm young, man. I feel like I could do anything. I feel like I could go and lift 1,000 pounds. So I could do anything. I feel as long as I put my mind to it. I'm not a lazy person either, and I know what it takes to get to I seen it happen. I know what it takes to become a world champion, and so that's why I go overtime on the overtime.
Yeah. So I saw a recent well, actually, it wasn't very recent. I saw an interview about a year ago. It was July of last year, where someone asked, who were your inspirations in the sport of boxing, or who do you look up to or model yourself after? And at the time, you said Danny Garcia.
Yeah, he's one of them.
Yeah. And so since that, a lot of things have happened in that welterweight division.
Yeah.
So Danny's kind of experienced a few losses, but then had a really big comeback in his last fight. Of course, Keith Thurman has returned, had 2 fights. Last night, he lost to Manny Pacquiao in a split decision. Did you check out that fight at all?
I seen parts of it, and I don't think that was no split decision, man. I don't know. They love Keith Thurman. I don't know why. Well, it was no split decision.
See, I actually felt like it was a little bit closer than maybe people thought. The knockdown is a big difference because he knocked down Keith in the first round.
Yeah.
Right? So, and when you look at it, I feel like it's clear that Manny Pacquiao was actually losing that round up to that point, which means that Keith Thurman would have been winning that round 10-9. He got knocked down the last 20 seconds, and all of a sudden it's 10-8 the other way.
Yeah.
So if you look at the judges' scorecards, that knockdown really made a difference. It would have been a majority draw, if they didn't get that knockdown going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So definitely I can see why anybody would think that Manny won, because he was in control of a lot of it. But I also think there was a lot of very close rounds. Manny did tire, particularly rounds 6 through 9.
He died out.
Yeah, he died out a little bit. And Keith started to really time that right hand. So rounds 6 through 9, Keith really came on, and I think probably picked up the majority of those middle rounds right in there. And when you look at that, you got 4 rounds. You know, all of a sudden that's not a very distant fight, because he could have won a round either side of that. You can make a case that he won round 11, round 12. So I actually thought it was close. I did have Manny Pacquiao winning, but I think that if you watch PBC, for instance, and you hear them talk about the way that fight is playing out, they, at least the unofficial scorers, had a much more distant fight than I was seeing. Like Manny winning every round.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he didn't win every round, but I felt he won.
Well, like even the commentary, which, you know, everybody can have an off night, or everybody has their favorites, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So, like, even the commentary team said, yeah, well, Manny won the first half of the fight, minus a round here or there.
Yeah.
You know, he's controlling the second half of the fight. But minus a round here or there, that's like 2 rounds at the beginning, 2 rounds at the end. Next thing you know, that's a 116 scorecard. It's not like you know what? It's not a lopsided victory anymore.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But I don't want to take away from it. What's up, Stacks? Anthony Saldana. Stacks, man, I know you're coming back from the venue. Online here, Anthony Saldana is normally my co-host on this podcast.
Yeah,
but
I know who that is.
Yeah, for some reason, he decided to go see Pacquiao instead of come here and chill with me.
Oh,
I don't know what's up with that. He left me here.
Hanging.
I got Adan here, though, so it's all good. He's going to co-host for me today. But let me know what you think, Stacks. Let me know what's up. Did Manny really win, like, every round the way that PBC said? You watched the replay, too, so I know. But definitely don't want to take away from anything that Manny accomplished last night. It's a tremendous accomplishment, but I also think that he could do damage to other welterweights still, including cats like Danny Garcia. Like that's kind of where I was going. You mentioned that you looked up to Danny. Would you like to see Danny fight Pacquiao?
Yeah, I think all Danny needs is that left hook, but Pacquiao will work him. I'm not biased or anything just because I like him and look up to him and anything, but Pacquiao will work him, but all Danny needs is a left hook to land. Pacquiao does get reckless.
Yeah, he does. You saw him. He got caught a few times last night, even hurt maybe. So what is it about Danny's game that you see where you're like, I want to model myself after that? Like I want to do things this way.
The way he presents himself, the way he dresses, the way he's confident in everything and anything that he does. I like that a lot about him.
What about his dad? He's a very vocal trainer.
He's funny, man. He's funny. His dad's funny. I remember I started looking up to Danny Garcia since he fought like a little bit before Khan. And after that, everybody was hating on him. And after that, he always was winning. I remember the Lucas Matisse fight.
Yeah,
everybody was saying, oh, he's going to lose. I'm like, nah, my boy Danny's going to win. I'm telling y'all. And he beat his ass, man.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it was a good fight, too. I remember I think his dad was saying, "Oh, I'll chop my head off if he loses this fight."
Yeah, his dad's always on some
nonsense.
His
dad got the confidence too. That's where he gets.
That's where he got it. Yeah, you know that's where he got it from, dude. But like, you mentioned Amir Khan. So Amir Khan fought a week ago. Yeah, in Saudi Arabia against Billy Dib, and Billy Dib is a cat who's basically a career featherweight who stepped up to 147 to fight Amir Khan. He was knocked out by Amir Khan. Since then, Amir Khan has been throwing around Pacquiao's name. Is that a fight?
That'll be a good fight.
You think so?
Speed and speed.
It's definitely speed and speed, but don't you think Pacquiao maybe like puts a little bit too much behind those punches?
Yeah, he would. He got more power.
Because, Bud really tuned up Amir in the early going there.
Yeah, everybody does, man.
That's harsh, bro.
Yeah, but Amir's good, man. He's good. He got skills and he's fast, but it's just that draw. Everybody be clowning on him about.
That's true. I mean, some of these cats, you have to wonder, like Amir Khan, another guy who fought yesterday, David Price.
Yeah.
David Price was like, the next big heavyweight. You know what I mean? He was like 6'9" dude from England, winning all the English world titles, knocking everybody out.
Yeah.
But then it kind of came out that he has a suspect chin, and people were able to touch him, and he was knocked out a lot. And now he has that reputation, kind of like Amir Khan, of having that suspect chin. And sometimes you have to look, and it's hard to say, like, man, what if those guys' chin was better?
Yeah.
What if Amir Khan had a better chin?
That's true. But the glove, these punches don't tickle either. Yeah. When you get hit with 8-ounce gloves and stuff. So, and he doesn't fight, like, he doesn't get knocked out by bums or anything. He gets knocked out by real deal guys. So
that's true. Let's see, what did you say? So Stack said Manny began looking his age the second half of the fight. He was trembling and seemed really hurt. I totally agree with you, Stacks. I do. I think Thurman came on in the second half of that fight and picked up enough rounds to make it a very close fight, with the knockdown really being the main difference. Like, if he didn't score that knockdown, I think it's ironic because Keith Thurman had said, I want to feel it early on. Is his power really what everybody says? Is his speed really what everyone says? And then he got knocked down in the first round. You know what I mean? So I guess his power and his speed are like that.
His age is getting to him, though. You got to watch out for these younger dudes. Earl Spence, man. I think Earl Spence was put a hurting on him. That's another person I like. Earl Spence, man. That boy looking like he looked like a football player. I seen him in person too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been next to Errol a few times.
Yeah, he's big.
He's a big dude. But, like, I think he's a big welterweight. I don't think Manny wants any part of Errol, to be honest.
Nobody does it. Keith is the main one running from him.
You think so?
Excuse after excuse, man.
Oh, man. Anthony says a draw with no knockdown. Stacks, man, I'm so glad you said that because I have that same opinion. I had thought it was 6-6 with the knockdown being the difference between them. I think it was a much closer fight, and I was afraid to voice that because I'm expecting backlash. You're lucky you're on chat today because people are going to give me backlash and tell me I'm full of it. But I don't think I am. I think you guys should watch that back. Keith did some good work.
Parts of it too, so
yeah, exactly.
I didn't get to see the full thing.
Keith did some good work. He did some good work, and there were a few times where Manny takes shots well. Like, I think Manny is so experienced that even when he's hurt, he has, he's able to put on a good facade, right?
Yeah,
like not show you that. And I don't know how you develop that over time, but I think Manny does that really well. So a lot of times he gets credit for not being hurt when I'm like, nah, that shot had to hurt.
Yeah.
Like you said, they're not tickles out there, That's Keith Thurman.
Yeah, Keith Thurman, one time.
But I had a cat on here, Alfonso Gomez, who has a few weeks ago. He'll be back on with me next week.
Oh, he fought Canelo, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, he fought Canelo. He fought Miguel Cotto. He fought Sean Porter. He fought all these cats.
He was up there.
Yeah. So he was on here. He'll be on again next week. But he told me punches ain't vitamins.
Nah. Complete opposite.
I was like, that's a good one, That's a good one. But, no, yeah, I said check it back because I'd be interested. After, like, watch the full fight and let me know what you think. Because, I think people think that Manny did a lot better than maybe he did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he definitely won. Don't get me wrong. He definitely won. I'm not going to hate. People are also going to say that I'm like a known Manny Pacquiao hater, but that's not true. I just like Juan Manuel Marquez.
Oh, yeah.
That's all.
Yeah,
that's
man.
all.
I like Marquez better than Chavez.
Yeah?
Yeah, I always did, man. Always.
See, this is why. Like, how for you, it's like you talk about Danny Garcia, Errol Spence, some of these cats. I'm a little bit older. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like a generation or something before that. So to me, Juan was like, what's up?
I didn't grow up off of Chavez either. I grew up with Marquez.
Like, Marquez is the cat that I liked watching the most.
Yeah, he was
cool,
what I mean? Man, no matter what. And every time you dropped him, he'll get more dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. He would get right back because he got dropped all the time.
That's why when Floyd dropped him, he didn't go for the kill. Floyd is smart.
Yeah. What do you think? Okay, so check it out. So Manny Pacquiao, he beats Keith Thurman, 40 years old now. He's the true WBA world champion. Does this add to or take away from Floyd's legacy in any way? Do you think like that win says something better about Floyd, or do you think that it says something worse about Floyd? You know what I mean? Manny was able to come in and win fighting the young cat who is at the top of his game, undefeated.
It works both ways because Floyd beat somebody that just walked through this guy, and then also like this guy just beat this young guy right here.
That's true.
It works both ways.
I see a lot of people saying that this is like bad for Floyd's legacy, but I'm not sure because like Floyd more or less, I hate to educate you guys, but Floyd schooled Manny.
Easy.
Yeah, right? Like, Floyd called it easy work, and he wasn't lying. Like, he got hurt one time. Everybody points to one set of combinations in that fight where he got pinned down against the ropes and stuff like that.
He was blocking half of
and
it.
And that's all Manny was able to bring, you know? So, like, I think, like you said, it's a pendulum, right? Like, it swings both ways. You could say that, hey, it's impressive that an older Floyd Mayweather, right? His shoulder got hurt a lot. Funny. His shoulder was not hurt, man. Get out of here. Stacks, give me a hard time. But, I mean, like, you could say it's impressive Manny was able to step up and beat this young cat like that, which it is. It's very impressive for Manny.
It is.
But at the same time, Floyd, who was older than Manny when they fought back in 2015, he's still older than him now, but I mean, he's older than Manny. So you guys got to deal with it. He fought Manny back in 2015, and he handled him, dude. No problem. Right? Like, it's like, so I think
he did what he had to do.
He did what he had to do. You got to give him credit at some point in time. I'm not a Pacquiao hater, though. I like Manny. I like Manny a lot. I like these other cats, too.
Yeah. Manny has everybody's respect. 8-time, 8-division champion.
How can you not?
Yeah.
How can you not respect it? You know? See, that's the thing. A lot of guys, though, he sucks. You guys see that on social media? You guys watch it? Manny sucks. Get out of here, guys. You guys are silly. Just because you don't like a fighter. Yeah. I'm not the biggest Canelo fan. Right, like Canelo's never been my guy, and for some reason, I don't feel as though I'm ever rooting for him, you know. But at the same time, dude's phenomenal. Look at this fight. Yeah, he's an absolute beast. I can't say anything bad. Like he's dope. So maybe I felt like he lost the first Triple G fight, but he's still dope, you know. But so you consider yourself a boxing fan now? Like, do you watch a lot of boxing?
Yeah, I learn off of it. Every time I'm watching, I see what they do. I see how they turn their feet or how they turn their punch into how they move back. Every time I watch it, I'm not only a fan, I'm a student of it. I always learn from the ones before me. Like Keith Thurman, Pacquiao, I always look to learn from those people.
Say they stand on the shoulders of giants. That's how you get taller, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta look from those people. So obviously, you know, you like to watch Danny. Are there people other than the welterweights who you look to and you go, hey, I really want to learn from these people by watching or studying these people?
Canelo's the main one.
Canelo,
Mayweather, and Earl.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I love learning off of. Earl Spence body shots, man. Body shots, Mayweather's defense, and Canelo's he's slick, man. He's slicker than Mayweather. He's slick.
That's a statement right there. Yeah. Y'all heard it here first. Adan said he's slicker than Mayweather.
Well, Mayweather still got better defense.
Yeah, he does
Canelo
have better defense.
Be slick with everything.
I think Canelo's like developing that, and you're seeing more and more of it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's actually taking criticism for the fact that now he's like kind of hard to hit and like uses head movement and stuff.
Everybody wants to see the Mexican style, but the Mexican style is just really counter-punching.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks Mexican style is two Mexicans going in there beating each other like to death and they not moving or nothing, but all Mexicans, Salvador Sanchez, Marquez, Chavez, those were guys who were slick. They moved their head. That's always been the Mexican style, slickness.
Stacks said you're legit, by the way.
That's my man right there. What up, Stacks? I know Stacks.
He said you're legit. Part of Cesar Garcia's stable with Big Surge. Is that a Big Surge? Is your cut man?
We used to. I used to be affiliated with him.
Yeah.
Caesar and them,
Yeah.
And then
so you train out of Maywood, right?
Yeah, Maywood.
So, but not for your whole professional career, just for a portion of it?
Yeah, I've been 2 years of going on 3.
With Maywood?
With Maywood.
Yeah, I saw like so Red had an event last night. Were you at that one?
Yeah, I was over there. That's why I didn't get to see the full fight.
Yeah, I figured that was the case because they do. I think they did like their press thing this time around at Maywood Boxing Club, right?
Yeah, they should have done it when I was fighting. They had it in different places, but
you had to drive somewhere.
Yeah, now all of a sudden I'm not fighting. They did it at Maywood.
Maybe they'll do it next time again.
I hope, man. That's my home right there. I feel most comfortable in the gym, in the boxing gym.
How much time a day do you spend in the boxing gym?
Like two to three. And I got other training sessions. I got strength and conditioning. I go to LA Fitness, work on myself. I run, you know, just all day. Out of the gym, I probably got like, at nighttime, that's when I'm probably home. I'm never really home. I see people more in boxing than I see my own parents.
Do you have a strength and conditioning coach, or do you guys handle strength and conditioning?
I got a strength and conditioning.
Who's your strength and conditioning coach?
His name's Jesse.
Okay.
Yeah, he does nutrition and all that. He's worked with people like, he's worked with Eric De Leon. He works with him a lot.
Okay.
I believe he told me he worked with Mares before too. He used to work with Mares.
That's where this beef started? No, I'm just messing around.
There's no beef.
I know. I'm just messing around. I know there's no beef. But, yeah, so...
If anything, this is Mares fans that got the
Mares
beef with me.
Oh, man. You could be a fan of Mares and a fan of Adan at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
It works out. Chill out. You know, the young guys, they have to, unless you're a Manny Pacquiao and you don't let the young guys take the glory, you know what I mean?
Man, Pacquiao is keeping the throne up there.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy. This is a fight we'll probably be talking about for a couple weeks. I mean, I feel like, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like when they announced Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather in 2015, this was the type of fight that they hoped it would be. So Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao, like that fight where it's like back and forth. You have two great champions. One of them's undefeated. There's a lot of give and take. Both guys are hurt. Like, people hoped that Floyd, for boxing, people hoped that Floyd and Manny would be like that. Only it wasn't nothing like that.
10 years ago. It was.
You think so?
Yeah, it was 10 years too late.
Back when Floyd was banging?
Both of them.
Yeah. At some point, Floyd stopped pounding guys out of there and started to focus more on defense and not get hit. Like, as he moved up.
That's money, Floyd. Floyd Money Mayweather.
Floyd Money Mayweather?
It's the difference of Floyd Money Mayweather and Pretty Boy Floyd.
Created the persona Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather.
It's different Mayweathers.
That's true, man. I saw something. So you do have, early in your career, you experienced one career loss.
Yeah.
And I saw that that individual, he's trained by Buddy McGirt.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've ever seen this, but Buddy McGirt has a video on YouTube. I forget who posted the video, but he's praising you for how you conducted yourself in defeat, where Buddy McGirt is saying that young men don't normally have the kind of respect that you have or that you show.
I went to the locker room after and congratulated him.
Yeah, I saw that.
Thanked them because I learned from that.
Yeah, and so I think that that's high praise coming from someone like Buddy McGirt. And I mention it because Buddy McGirt, who's, you know, a world-class trainer, this weekend he had another moment in the corner of one of his fighters. You seen that?
Yeah, that was sad.
It's very sad.
He did the right thing, though. He's a good man.
Absolutely. He did the right thing. He stopped the fight. And I know that all of the boxing forums are bringing attention to Dadashev and what he experienced and gone through. Of course, if you guys didn't see it, he definitely took a beating, and he was really not able to leave the ring on his own. And he was escorted to the hospital immediately after the stoppage by Buddy McGirt in the 11th round. It was a great stoppage by Buddy McGirt, like you said. He's a great man. Showed a lot of compassion and stuff for his fighter. And his fighter Dadashev had to have open brain surgery that he's recovering from now. So they had to take a piece of his skull out to relieve the swelling and things like that in his brain. So I bring it up because there's a couple tragedies that have happened in boxing. This I would consider a tragedy. Hopefully and that's not because I'm projecting, hopefully there's a full recovery. But I think even without it, the fact that he almost certainly won't be able to box again, we don't know what functions he'll be able to retain even in recovery and things like that. But it is a violent sport, and I think there's something about this sport where young, respectful men, you know, like yourself, you understand the risks, but you still continue to pursue it. What is it in your personality? What is it that makes you want to fight, given that you know that there's risks and things like that involved?
I just want to make a name for myself, and I just want to put on for my people, and I want to take care of everybody who took care of me, and I feel like this is a way to repay them. But I could become something big in this sport, and I know it, and I feel it coming, and I really strongly believe I will take care of my people with this sport.
When you say you feel it coming, that you're on the edge or you're on the verge of the greatness kind of that you're talking about, what are the things that you're looking for in the immediate future? So I know, for instance, you said you want to fight in August, but what are the steps that you see for yourself in order to get to the next level, not to the highest, like to the greatness level, but what are you looking for in order to be able to say, okay, I'm on a new level now. We're on a different platform than I was last year or the year before that.
Yeah, I'll take on anybody in my division, and on featherweight division I'll take on anybody. All the young guys coming up, I'll take them out. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're friends, family. I'll take them out. This is my division, and that's what I got to do to get to the higher levels.
Do you have any family in the featherweight division that you need to? All right, I was just going to say, that could be a really interesting story right there.
I'll find my dad. I'll find my own dad if I have to get to that. I'll do anything for this sport.
You hear it, Dad. You heard it, Dad. Okay, so you'll fight all these cats. You're still a young man. You're 21, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have an issue making featherweight, or do you feel yourself growing out of featherweight, or do you think that that's not going to be a problem for you in the foreseeable future?
Nah, it's not going to be a problem. I already talked to my people, and I let everybody know on my team that I want to win 1 or 2 world titles, and that's when I jump up to the 130 division. But I want to win. I'm going to win a world title, 1 or 2, defend them, and then leave it in the past and go on to bigger and better things. I'm the next big thing in the featherweight division. I'm talking literally and figuratively.
So, do you know who all the world champions are at featherweight? Jen said she quizzed you on this. So, did you quiz him on this before his dad did? Okay.
Leo Santa Cruz.
Okay.
Gary Russell.
Yep.
Carl Frampton. You got the IBF. And who else? There's one more. Leo Santa Cruz. Oscar Valdez.
Okay, so where do you see, is there a specific guy in the featherweight division? By the way, Frampton lost to Warrington, actually, so Warrington has his. Yeah. Frampton lost to Warrington, so Warrington has his. Warrington has his own belt, I should say.
Took it.
Yeah, I shouldn't say he has Frampton's belt. He got his own. He took it. He earned it. So, of those guys, is there a guy that you look at and you say, from your perspective, and I'm not asking for another Abner Mares moment. Yeah. I'm asking you, is there a guy you would look at and go, I think me and him, we could make a great fight. We could make something memorable.
Me and Mares, man.
You want Abner?
I seen when he fought Leo Santa Cruz. He put on that because it's boring when it's a nice guy versus a nice guy. So I seen that Mares took on that bad guy persona. Yeah. And everybody was giving him bad feedback, and even he said why are you giving me the negative feedback? I'm just making the fight interesting. Yeah. So I respect Mares for that, and he took on the bad, he put the bad blood persona in there, and he made it a great fight. So.
That's a really interesting point, because as you guys as boxers, you go through extensive training for your craft. Like you mentioned, man, you do the running, you go strength and conditioning, nutritionist, you spend hours a day in a boxing gym, you see people in the gym more than you see your family. But you don't necessarily do extensive training in marketing yourself or doing all these things. How do you learn how to market a fight or play it up, make it big? Is it by watching other people? Do you have people influence you and tell you this is what we need to do to make this a big fight? Or how does that happen?
I got people like how you just said. I got people like that, and also it's just me as a person. It's just my personality. It's something that comes natural. I'm a really confident person, and I'm confident in anything and in everything and anything that I do. So it brings that to the sport. Okay,
so you have no problem then playing as a WWE fan. I'll use the right act. I'm old enough that I still want to call it WWF all the time.
WWE now is whack. I used to. The WWE is whack now.
I have to call it. I almost say WWF every single time.
Oh yeah.
So as a WWE fan or a wrestling fan of the era, are you comfortable playing that heel position? Do you think that's something that comes naturally to you, the bad guy?
It just comes naturally.
You like Razor Ramon and stuff?
Yeah, all that.
Oh, why did I do that? I just dated myself. Okay, I was going to say.
Razor Ramon. He's the bad guy.
Oh, the bad guy. Razor Ramon,
The bad guys bring the they make it interesting. Mayweather was a bad guy, and look how much money he made off of being the bad guy.
That's true, he did.
And then in this sport, it ain't no fairy tales or nothing. Like, the bad guy always wins, or most of the time the bad guy wins, or they make him eat his words, but most of the time the bad guy's winning.
So it comes naturally to you.
Yeah, just watching it all when growing up.
Machismo. Oozing machismo. Man, I'm really dating myself. A few minutes from now, I'm going to start like quoting Ultimate Warrior or something like that, and it's going to be a problem. Oh, man. Let's see what other fights we had on last night. Or not just last night. Actually, I was off last week, so there's like 2 weeks worth of boxing events.
Lopez fought, no?
What's that?
What's his name?
Teofimo fought on Friday. Yeah, Teofimo. Did you watch that one?
Yeah, he did. He did. A lot of people got a lot of high expectations for him, the way he be talking, the way he carries himself. But it was a tough fight, and he pulled through. Yeah.
So I've got some feedback, I guess, on the Teofimo Lopez fight, because particularly Timothy Bradley, who, you know, everybody likes Tim Bradley, stand-up guy. He does his thing. He was a world champion. You know, he had a number of memorable fights, things like that. You know, Provodnikov stands out in Carson. Tremendous fight. 3 fights himself with Pacquiao. He used the term exposed when talking about Teofimo Lopez, and he used it really emphatically. So on TV, he said Teofimo Lopez was exposed. He was exposed. And I don't know that that's the case. So I have a couple comments on that. They can't all be, as I'm sure you know, you can't just dust everybody. At some point, as you're stepping up in competition, there's going to be guys who give you some resistance. Like, there needs to be an expectation that, like, not every fight is going to make you look remarkable in victory, right? Like, sometimes fights are just going to be tough. Like, we should have, and he's a young man, you know? Like, sometimes fights are just going to be difficult. And I think this was one of those. He just had a difficult fight. He admittedly critiqued his performance. He said he struggled with the height. He struggled with the range, and that was evident. It was really clear. He was fighting a tall dude. He struggled. But he still won convincingly.
Yeah. Like,
it wasn't really a close fight. Like, there was, at the end of the fight, nobody was like, oh, I wonder if this is going to be a draw, or maybe that other cat won.
Yeah, he just got bruised out. That's
he got hit a few times.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? And I'm not comparing him to Lomachenko. So before guys jump down my throat, I'm not saying he's like Loma. What I'm saying is there was a fight Loma had not too long ago against Pedraza. Did you see that one? Lomachenko fought Jorge Pedraza.
Yeah. That's the dude that Tank knocked out, no?
Yeah, exactly. So he fought that dude. That dude stayed on his jab the whole night long. Lomachenko had some bruising and stuff like that on the face, but he still dominated the fight. But everybody said, oh, Lomachenko, that was a bad fight for him because he got bruised and stuff on his face. Someone actually hit him. Like, he was doing so good that when someone actually hit him, they were like, oh, that was a bad fight for Loma. It's the same thing. Teofimo Lopez has looked like such a phenomenon that when someone was able to hit him with some jabs and some right hands because they're tall and lengthy, we go and say, oh, he's exposed. You know, he's not ready. Like, he's still a young, athletic man. He's still learning.
Yeah.
Like, give the guy some credit. Give him a chance. You know what I mean? So that was my feedback on that one. It was a good fight. But you guys need to take a break on all that exposed stuff, Tim Bradley.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Him and Andre Ward were going back and forth at it, too, because Andre Ward, like, this is the other thing. He was saying, hey, as a young guy, it's good to get in more rounds. You know, because, like, if you're just knocking people out in 5-6 rounds, you don't know about how to get those rounds in, you know?
Yeah.
Do you ever worry about that? Like, hey, I'm just taking care of these cats too easy right now? Like,
right now, I've been, these past fights, I haven't been fighting, like, nobody's bums off the street. Like, they've been putting me real deal guys they've been putting me guys that actually go out there and try to win.
That's
my
good.
Last fight, I've been going the full distance so far. I feel comfortable, and I feel ready to push it to the next level.
You ready to take it up a couple rounds, you think? Like
8 rounds.
Yeah, okay. Cool, man. But, yeah, see, I think sometimes when you jump to that next level, you'll encounter some resistance, guys. Chill out. Give the kid a break. My goodness. What else? We had Ugas and Omar Figueroa.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was a good one for your Dennis Ugas.
Yeah. For Ugas.
Yeah.
It was a good fight. I liked it.
It was a good one. I think Omar... Omar was in. I don't know that fight had to go the full distance. You might have a different feeling about this as a fighter. You always want to finish, right, or go out on your shield, right? Like, you want to finish or you want to go out on your shield.
You can't say no.
Exactly. You can't say no, and I think sometimes the onus is on the corner or someone else to kind of tell you the truth of the situation in the way that we talked about Buddy McGirt doing, which is the truth of the situation sometimes is, kid, you just don't have it today, right?
Yeah.
And that was the case with Omar Figueroa in this fight. Like, he was getting hit a lot and very often, and by the time it got into the late rounds, it felt like somebody should have said, around round 9, for instance, this just isn't your night. You know what I mean? You're getting hit a lot. You're not doing any damage to him. He's bigger than you. He still looks strong. He's still fresh. We haven't seen anything that would say you could just, like, throw one punch and knock him out. Yeah. Like, maybe we should save you, for another day. And I'm sure as a fighter, that has to be really difficult to hear.
Yeah, you could even – he was saying no. He wanted to keep going. But he was trying to stop it. He said, no. Like
for him, for instance. And I felt the same way about Omar Figueroa. Somebody should have just told him, hey, I know you don't want to stop this, but, like, there's no reason. Like, what's the point?
So you could fight one more fight.
Yeah, like – I don't know, man.
It's for the future.
Yeah, it's for his future. You know what I mean? Someone has to have that kind of compassion. So I think that was my take on Omar Figueroa. He didn't need to take that kind of beating in those late rounds. He was trying to stay competitive for sure. Like, he was never out of there. He was never trying not to win.
Yeah.
But you just don't need to take that kind of punishment.
He just fell short.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's kind of small for the weight division, to be honest. Like, he's a little bit small for 147. Like, he looked a lot smaller than Ugas.
Yeah, imagine dudes like Earl Spence,
exactly,
Crawford,
exactly. And you could make a case that Yordenis Ugas really should be the WBC world champion right now. Like, he fought Sean Porter in Carson here a few months ago.
Yeah,
and a lot of people thought he won that fight.
Yeah, it was
controversial decision. So. All right. Who else did we get? Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte versus Oscar Rivas. You ever seen Dillian Whyte fight before?
Like once or twice.
Dillian Whyte is now, because he beat Oscar Rivas, he's the WBC interim world champion. So he holds a WBC heavyweight world title, which means that Deontay Wilder has until, May of next year to make a fight with Dillian Whyte.
Deontay got like a whole other set of fighters.
He does.
Doesn't he have Tyson, Fury, he has King Kong.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they want to get Andy Ruiz in there.
Of course, right?
They just pushing out Dillian Whyte.
So they're saying that Dillian Whyte is mandatory by May of next year, or the idea would be you strip Deontay Wilder out of his belt, which makes it not as marketable for some of those other fights that you were talking about.
Those are marketable fights right there.
Yeah.
Those are the kings of the heavyweight right there. Tyson Fury. King Kong's still up there. Deontay and now Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all at the top.
There was some feedback like I got a while back, which was like that Dillian Whyte was like one of the top 2 or 3 heavyweights in the world. And I'm not going to lie, I think Dillian Whyte's great, but you cats are tripping. You guys are tripping. Dillian Whyte has been chin-checked in like his last 4 fights.
He fought Joshua, didn't he?
Yeah, well, Joshua, he fought years ago. So if you want to look at and he was knocked out by Joshua. He also hurt Joshua.
Yeah.
Right? But he was knocked out by Joshua. But he was in serious trouble against Joseph Parker. He was dropped by Oscar Rivas. He was down on the scorecards against Derek Chisora when he scored the knockout. The guy has remarkable talent. He scored remarkable knockouts. But he is, he's not running through these competitions here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not running through it. So I think to those of you who look at it and go, hey, man, he's up there and would handle Deontay Wilder, and Deontay Wilder is avoiding him, which is what you'll hear everybody say. He's avoiding him. Deontay Wilder doesn't want to fight Dillian Whyte. Like, I'm not sure what you cats are seeing, because I feel like if that knockdown didn't come from Oscar Rivas, if it came from Deontay Wilder, he probably is not getting back up.
Yeah.
So,
like Deontay's something else.
Those are different breeds of dude,
Yeah.
Like, what do you think makes someone like Deontay? So Deontay Wilder, they always say like power is something you can't train. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can to a certain extent. You can do things to make your punches more accurate and crisp and things like that. Speed, which all lead to power. But they say power is something you can't train. When you look at a guy like Deontay Wilder, who's really only like 212, and he's fighting dudes who are 260.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's knocking them out with no problem. Where do you think that power comes from?
He just swings. He puts everything into, like, to me, what it seems like, I respect Deontay Wilder. I like him. I like his persona, his everything about him. But he literally goes in there and he has no game plan. He just squabbles. He's like a street fighter. He just goes in there and knocks dudes out, and that's what he goes in there for.
Yeah.
And then when people lose their power, when they start getting tired, stuff like that, well, he doesn't. I seen fights where he was tired, still knocks the dudes out. I think with King Kong, I think he was tired and he was losing.
He was hurt. Yeah, he was losing. I felt
like he was losing. Yeah. And boom, he caught him.
So it's just
he just goes in there squabbles. Doesn't have no game plan or nothing, and it works.
Oh man,
I feel like you could get away with that in the heavyweight division because they don't really move as much as like the welterweights. They slip and duck, stuff like that.
Maybe that's why he struggled with Tyson Fury because there's a lot more movement, head movement, and stuff like that.
He's just a slippery guy, Tyson Fury.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's some of that is true. Like Coach, who's the owner of this gym and someone who frequents and co-hosts the podcast with me, you know, he always says like you don't train for the types of angles that Deontay Wilder is coming from because he throws like these wild punches and he's coming at you. Punches. So like you could put your hands up, for instance, but you'll still get hit because he's not coming from an angle that a normal fighter would hit you with.
To move out of, but. Yeah, it's crazy.
So maybe you need to go train crazy arms for your next fight. You know what I mean?
Just swing it.
Just start swinging.
No game plan.
Jen's going to give me the evil eye here in a second. Oh. Start training nonsense for your next one. No game plan. Just start swinging.
It won't work in the featherweight division. We move. They move a lot. The featherweight.
They move too much?
Yeah, they move. They can move good. Unlike that.
You guys got to have that stamina.
Yeah, the heavyweights just go in there. Whoever lands first. That's what it is.
It's not entirely inaccurate. Yeah. One of the things that makes heavyweights so hard to predict is like you're like if either of these guys hit each other, they could go down.
Yeah,
right.
Whoever lands first.
That's true. So that one was good. So maybe we'll see that fight in the future. To be honest, I would still rather see King Kong and Tyson Fury first. Like I'd rather see Deontay Wilder fight those guys.
King Kong's lined up with Deontay already, isn't he?
Yeah, they say they have a verbal agreement.
Oh, nothing official.
A verbal agreement, yeah. And then it's supposed to be Tyson Fury the following year, like in February or something like that. So he's posted on Twitter about it. Like Deontay Wilder has posted and made videos and stuff and said like, hey, these are my next two fights.
He has them lined up already.
And the truth is I would rather see those, I think, than Dillian Whyte. Like I'd rather see the rematch with Luis Ortiz. I'd rather see the rematch with Tyson Fury because there's like a story there.
Yeah. You know? Andrew Ruiz, I think he has a big chance with Deontay.
Andy Ruiz?
I think he has a big chance, man.
It's, you know, I
counted him out for the AJ fight. I'm not gonna lie.
Of course, right? Of course. So many people did.
It's crazy because he was the underdog. Andy was the underdog. But if you really look at it, it was AJ. He's fighting out of his country. This guy only had like 50 amateur fights. This guy had 100 and something. He's been fighting since he was a kid. Since he was 8 years old, and AJ's been fighting since he was 18. He was really the underdog if you really look at it. Yeah,
and plus, if you've ever watched Andy, you know he has skills. Like, he's got the hand speed, you know what I mean? He's got skills. Like, that's the thing that blows me away is, like, I knew that Andy was really experienced. I knew Andy had skills. And I still, you know, didn't really, as a replacement opponent for Anthony Joshua, I still didn't give him the credit he was due. Like, I have to look at it and go, yeah, I thought that he was going to be run over. Yeah. You know, I thought of Anthony Joshua as a freight train. You know what I mean? And Andy Ruiz just kind of got on the track, and so much has been said to make us think that there's like what Deontay Wilder calls a three-headed dragon, right? There's really just these three heavyweights, and nobody can beat these three cats. And we should have known better. We all should have known better.
And he was also training for somebody else, so that messed him up too.
Yeah, that's true. He was a replacement opponent, Big Baby Miller.
Nah, but Andrew Ruiz put in his work. He really deserved it. He worked for it. Yeah. I'm not taking nothing away from him.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Yeah, it is, man.
You know what I said? Like, there were a lot of people who were really bitter about it. Like, you could see people like, oh, man. Yeah, like, a lot of people were super bitter about it. Hey, you know what, though? You guys, boxing needs moments like that. Yeah. If people like me and Adan could just sit down and pick the winner before this fight starts every single time, it would be no good.
Yeah, it would be boring.
It would be boring, right? Like, it needs moments. It needs upsets. So that
he won upset of the year, didn't he?
I certainly hope so.
Yeah, he did, I think.
I don't know who else could have won that. Yeah. Like, who else was even in the category? He should have been the only nominee.
Yeah. Yeah, the upset of the year.
At the ESPYs or something like that?
Yeah, he had it. He got it.
It had to be. But no, yeah, so to me that was a welcome change of pace. You know, you have to sometimes you have to be into the upsets.
Yeah, AJ, he seems more of an Instagram model or something. He's not really.
Fighters always say that. They're always talk about his muscles and all that stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You don't need all those muscles to beat somebody.
Yeah.
It's just all extra unnecessary weight.
Speaking of which, did you see last night PBC on Fox before they started the pay-per-view? They had Caleb Plant versus Mike Lee.
That's another dude I like, man.
Caleb Plant?
Yeah, he's
Caleb
badass. Dude.
Yeah, he's cool.
It's crazy. I'm not nothing racial or nothing, but boxing is usually Hispanics and blacks. That's the top dogs, but he's a white boy, isn't he?
English guys.
Yeah. Yeah, but
you gotta give the English guys their credit. They did some boxing.
Yeah, man, they coming up there.
Yeah, Caleb Plant's a white cap.
Yeah, he
as far as I know,
man, I like him. He's cool, and he has a sad story. Didn't he win his world title and his mom passed after that?
He has a very sad story actually. So first, before he won the world title, his daughter, who was 2 years old, had passed away.
Oh man!
So his daughter first, and then after he won the world title, his mother, and I don't remember this in explicit detail, but his mother died. And I believe she was shot. She was the police. She was actually shot by the police.
Yeah.
For an incident. So that's another one.
Yeah, that boy's coming up.
Oh,
Man.
Caleb?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Mike Lee and him. Mike Lee, the reason I brought this up, because Mike Lee's the football player, the big, massive guy, you know what I mean, who went to Notre Dame, got his accounting degree, was sponsored by Subway.
Yeah.
And then went and fought Caleb Plant.
And he told it how it was.
They didn't even they didn't belong in the same ring together.
Yeah, 3 rounds.
Yeah. He put it on my
started watching him. Plant.
Caleb Plant?
Yeah, I really
after for the Uzcategui fight?
I think for the world title fight.
Yeah, the Uzcategui fight? Yeah.
Started following him damn, he's cool.
Yeah.
I like him.
I got to give a shout out to Coach, man, because Coach Marco has been on Caleb Plant for a long time on this show. He's actually a number of times, my co-host, the owner of this gym, has for a long time been bringing up Caleb Plant as something. And I favored Uzcategui in the fight against Caleb Plant.
Yeah.
And so shout out to Marco, man. You were right. Caleb is putting it on these cats. Putting it on these cats.
What weight is he?
168.
Oh, okay.
So it's him.
The Crusher isn't Crusher, or he's
175. He's 75. So it's him. Anthony Darrell is the WBC champion. He's going to fight David Benavidez here, actually, on the Sean Porter card.
That's going to be a good one.
Errol Spence. Sean. You going to go to that one?
Yeah, I'm going to be out there.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that one.
I'm going to go to that one, too.
Darrell seems like a crybaby.
Who? Darrell?
Yeah, he seemed like a crybaby.
I think...
Wasn't it him, the one that faked the knockout when he got the hit after the bell?
That was his brother.
Mm.
Yeah, that was his brother. His brother, Andre Darrell. Andre Darrell was also a 168-pounder, and he that was against Arthur Abraham. Got hit after the bell. Although I don't know if it was fake when you watch the clip. He was hit clean after the bell.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of controversy surrounding that.
Stay down or something. Stay down.
Oh yeah,
I heard something about that.
But he was the one where actually Uzcategui won his title against Andre Darrell. And what was it? Oh, that was where when they fought the first time, there was a late hit or something like that, and then Andre Darrell's uncle jumped in the ring and punched Uzcategui in the face.
Oh yeah.
You remember that? Yeah.
He went running after.
He went into hiding. They were trying to find him so they could arrest him and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's
hit and run.
That's his brother. So Anthony Darrell is the one who is going to fight David Benavidez here at Staples Center on the undercard.
Badass too, David.
David's. I favor David in that fight. I will say David is.
I think
skilled.
Plant and him been calling each other out, haven't they? Or with somebody else?
He said Caleb Plant even said after this last fight, he was like, "Hey, I'm easy to make a fight with. As soon as you guys get this one done at Staples, you just call me and we'll do it. Whoever wins, you know." So it's him, and then the other one is Caleb Smith.
That's the one who got knocked out by Canelo, didn't he?
No, his brother. That's his brother. Okay. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of siblings in this conversation. Yeah, so there's 4 of them. There are 4 Smiths. They all box professionally. So Liam Smith is the one that got knocked out by Canelo. Yeah, his brother Caleb Smith is the unified world champion at 168 pounds. He won the World Boxing Super Series, and has the the Muhammad Ali trophy and all that different stuff.
Yeah.
He's a bad dude. People talk about him as an opponent for Canelo coming up. A lot of people want to see Canelo fight Caleb Smith at 168 pounds because Canelo picked up that remember he fought that Rocky Fielding cat? Yeah, and got that 168-pound title.
Yeah.
WBA regular title.
Too many titles on regular, different names, intern. I don't know, man. Maybe you're losing me. I just know I just want a world
franchise champion.
It's crazy.
Which world title do you want? You know?
I don't know. I just want a world title. The ones that I see on
any
TV.
One of them? Yeah, the ones on TV?
Yeah, I want one of those.
No, it's tough. It is. You can't possibly keep track of it. Like, for those of you who are on the thing, just hit up BoxRec Champions page because we're looking at it right now. We got BoxRec Champions page up. How could you know all this?
They needed to do it like the UFC. They just got one.
Yeah.
They just got one belt.
It's so hard. Like, boxing actually is in an identity crisis. There's too many people that have their hands in the pot that are kind of pulling boxing in different directions.
Yeah.
And it makes it really difficult to keep track of, like, who the real champions are. Like, as fans, we kind of have to keep it in our mind, like, this guy's the real guy. You know what I mean? Even though other people... Yeah, like they're the Ring Magazine.
You're the real guy.
Yeah, exactly.
You could be the real guy, but that one means
you're the real guy. So, yeah, but this is... I mean, look at the champions page. It's ridiculous.
Damn, Andy Ruiz got all of them, man.
He got them all except Deontay Wilder's. Alexander Usyk is...
Oh, he's going up there,
He's going up, too. That's interesting.
That's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. So he's going up there, too.
He's no joke either.
No.
Those guys are just born with it. What is it? Ukraine?
Yeah.
Those guys are just born with the skills. I don't know what it is.
I don't know, man. Like, I think Alexander Usyk and Vasily Lomachenko are both trained by Papachenko, I think. So,
okay.
They're, you know what I mean? They just have extensive
they have another
amateur experience.
147-pounder that I seen one time. He fights exactly like Lomachenko. He looks just like him, too.
Alexander Vozdik is actually trained by Teddy Atlas, but I believe before he went professional, he was also trained by Papachenko, which is another, like, Ukrainian who's, you know, up there right now. Definitely. Who would you want to see Canelo fight? They float all these names. So they talk about Caleb Smith. They talk about Sergey Kovalev at 175.
He just got to shut up the Charlo brothers, man. Give them 6 rounds each. 6 rounds each.
6 rounds each.
Canelo messed
Put them both away.
Those guys just want a paycheck. That's all. They've been, their last few fights I heard people talking wrong on them. I think they've been doing good, but just...
Charlo?
Yeah, the Charlo brothers. But I think they're not on Canelo's level. Telling you, Canelo will give them 6 rounds each, but work both of them, man.
Dude, I think it's interesting because Charlo, it's like Charlo's and Errol have this agreement where they're like splitting up and taking different divisions. Like all those cats could really fight at the same weight class.
There's 147, 154, and 160.
Yeah, so it's like Errol, you take 147, I'll take 154, you take 160. They like chopped it up between them. But Errol's having the most success, I think.
And they're all calling out Canelo.
Yeah, all three of them. All three of them calling out Canelo. Even Errol says he wants Canelo.
Canelo's a Mayweather now. Before it was what were they? The Mayweather sweepstakes?
Sweepstakes, yeah. Now it's the Canelo sweepstakes.
That's all they want.
You got to get your paydays.
Yeah.
You got to get your paydays. I can't hate on it. Vozdik and Beterbiev is going to be a war. I agree with you. Vozdik and Beterbiev. I just heard about that actually last week. Jose Benavidez pulled out of his fight next month. I did not know that. So Anthony Stack Saldana said Jose Benavidez pulled out of his fight. So that's David's brother.
Yeah.
Keeping track of everyone's
Jose's
brothers
a
now.
younger but bigger one. He's a younger one, but he's in a bigger division.
No, David's the bigger division. He's the younger but the bigger one. So David's like
Jose's
tall.
the one that got knocked out by Crawford.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Jose's 147. David's 168.
Yeah.
David's a tall dude. He's like 6-something. I don't know, but I stood next to him and was like, dude, I feel small.
Yeah, he's cool. He's fast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, lightning fast. Super fast. All right, real quick, I'll go to last week because I didn't get an opportunity to do this. So Ray Vargas versus Comida. I will say that the fight was relatively uneventful. I guess it was competitive. Ray Vargas, I thought, clearly won. The thing that surprised me is everybody booed him. Everybody in the whole of Carson booed Ray Vargas.
He tried to blame it he said, that guy brought a lot of Japanese people. I was there. There was a lot of Mexicans.
You were there, that one?
There was a lot of Mexicans.
You tell him what's up.
Yeah.
What happened? Why was everybody booing?
Just fighting them, man. Just looking at him. I could only imagine being the opponent, but just looking at him gets you frustrated. He takes one step back, you got to take like 4.
Who, Ray?
To catch the Ray.
Because of
the distance, man.
The height?
Yeah, distance. Everything's long about that, man. His body, his arms, his legs. And then when you finally get to him, he hugs you or moves around, and it's just frustrating. But he did what he had to do to win.
He did, but people didn't like it.
Yeah, no. His last couple fights been like that, haven't they?
Yeah.
Well, he's just been winning like that.
Yeah. But yeah, people definitely, like, I was surprised with the number of boos because he's like a hometown guy, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but so that was the thing that surprised me the most is everybody booed Ray Vargas out of the building when he won that fight. There's a couple upsets actually there.
Yeah,
a few I want to bring up.
Those
So
are good fights.
Former Beat the Count guest Ronnie Rios stopped Diego De La Hoya in like the 6th round. That was a
good fight.
That was an excellent fight.
They were going at it.
That was a great fight. Probably the fight of the night, to be honest, was Ronnie Rios and Diego De La Hoya.
Respects to De La Hoya, he would get cracked and he'll just come on him too, but then he couldn't take no more.
Yeah, so I want to say shout out to Ronnie because a big win.
That was a clean uppercut.
Clean shot.
Yeah, just stopped him in his tracks.
And his younger brother, the undefeated Alexis Rocha, was also on that card.
That was a good fight too.
That was a good fight too. That was a good card. You were at that one, huh?
Yeah.
Was it hot out there?
Yeah, it was. I got there kind of late when Rocha was fighting. That's when I got there.
Oh, okay.
I saw his fight. After that, it was just all fireworks, man. Good fights. And Rocky Hernandez,
the upset. Yeah, that's funny because I just said there's a couple upsets. I totally forgot that Rocky Hernandez was knocked out. Yeah, that was the biggest one. I forgot to even write it down. Yeah, that's true. Rocky Hernandez was knocked out on that one. Unbelievable. What do you think, as someone who is essentially coming into that same position? So you're a young, kind of up-and-coming guy. You're taking steps up and things like that. What do you attribute a loss like Rocky Hernandez to? Was it just like a mistake, like an honest mistake? Sometimes you get caught with things that you don't see coming. Do you attribute it to training, preparation? Like, what do you think causes that kind of unexpected derailment? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it was just no disrespect or anything, but he was just fighting in Mexico, and they're tough fighters out there, but you know everybody goes out there for easy fights and
talent gap.
Yeah, and he came over here for competition, but I feel he'll bounce back like a true champion. He does have power, and his record does show it, but it's just the competition is different out here. You gotta train harder.
Do you think it's beneficial to have that kind of power? So, like, this actually came up as a result of the Teofimo Lopez conversation that we were having earlier, right? Which is, if you're just knocking dudes out left and right, so let's say you're 15 fights in, you've knocked everybody out in the first round, the experience that you've gained isn't really anything about longevity, about duration, about fighting people at an elite level, because as we said before, like, once you get to a certain level, people don't just go down when you hit them.
Yeah.
You know? Sometimes, so, like, I wonder, is it a disadvantage early on in your career to just, like, be knocking guys out? You know what I mean? Like, is it better to get the work in? To get the work in?
It's a disadvantage because there's dudes that could just have hard heads. They could take a punch. I dealt with a lot of people like that already. And you sock them in the head, your hand hurts or something. And also, there's just people that are smart, good defense, and the power is just, you gotta have a lot more than just power to make it in the sport. Mayweather proved that.
Yeah, exactly. Mayweather, not only, I mean, he had enough pop. It's not like he had no power on his jab, but he's not knocking people out. Like, it's all enough to discourage his opponent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But sometimes, like, that's a big debate that I was having internally, kind of after the Teofimo Lopez fight. Like, has it really been good for him to knock all these guys out the way he has been? Like, wouldn't it have served him better if he gotten some rounds in? You know what I mean? If someone gave him some resistance earlier, like, you don't want to find out too late. You know what I mean? That you can't hang with it. It was one for the year, the day that it happened to Roger Gutierrez when he was undefeated and got KO'd. Yeah, it happens, man. Undefeated cats sometimes.
I think his only losses are at, like, 135, isn't it?
Who's that?
The guy who knocked out Rocky.
Oh, yeah, that may be the case.
Guys.
That may be the case. Yeah, I'd have to check it out. But It's tough. I think sometimes it's not to people's benefit to knock out everybody, you know.
But Rocky came in there hurting that man. He was just cracking a boom, boom, left hooks. His face was busted open, his lips. He just got caught.
Yeah, he just got caught.
A lot of it could be he got overconfident because as soon as he stepped in, I even told my friend, nah, it's not going no more than 3 rounds. Rocky got it. Just kept on cracking him, and the other guy just started swinging back. And
I think there's something to be said about that. When you're at your most vulnerable, it's kind of what Andy Ruiz did to Anthony Joshua, actually, because Anthony Joshua had put him down with that 2-piece, right? And he looked like he was in trouble, and everybody said, watch Joshua finish him now.
I was already walking out. Saying,
exactly. So they're going in now, they're exchanging, but when you're there, you're vulnerable because you're throwing so many shots, and you could get wild and reckless that you're leaving yourself open. And it turns out Andy Ruiz actually kept his composure and put something in between those shots, you know what I mean? So sometimes when you have someone hurt, they're vulnerable, but you make yourself vulnerable in return, I guess, if you don't stay disciplined, you know? It's got to be tough for you guys, man, because there's like a balance between, like, as an example, you want to stay disciplined, but also while you have your man hurt, you want to get him out of there, right?
Yeah.
So, like, how do you know, like, what's too much? How do I know if I'm putting too much on him? When do I pull back?
That's
you know?
what differs it from the UFC. As soon as you drop him, you get to jump on him.
Yeah, exactly.
But in boxing, you got to have more discipline. You're anxious. You're going in the corner anxious. Damn, just looking at him. That's time he's recovering. But as soon as the UFC, you got to mop him up right then and there.
Yeah. So do you feel like in those moments, like, do you have to tell yourself, like, be patient? When you feel like you're hurting your opponent, for instance, do you have to remind yourself to be patient? Or is it just natural to kind of
you just got to calm all your nerves and just know you already got him and start being smart about it and pick the shots.
Do you actively look to knock people out? That sounds like a weird question, but what I mean is I guess there's 2 schools of thought on this. There's cats who go in the ring and they're trying to knock out their opponent. And then there's other guys who say, if it comes to me, it'll come. You know what I mean? Like, if it comes naturally, I'll take it. But otherwise, I'm good to do my thing. Yeah. Do you feel like you're trying to go and knock out your opponent, or are you letting knockouts come to you?
Yeah, I'm letting them come to me. They'll walk into it. I just feel like I got skills that pay the bills, and why not show them? So I prove and I'm only improving in all my skills.
There's the siren. It's like a staple of this show to get a siren in the background of every show, and I thought we were going to make it through this one without one, which would have disappointed me, Stacks. But we got it. We got it. You got the skills that pay the bills. Well, we look forward to it. So why don't we take a second, remind people when you're fighting again, where they can get tickets, and also where they can follow you so that they can keep up and stuff like that once you know who your opponent is and everything.
I'm fighting August 24th. I believe that's a Saturday. Pico Rivera Sports Arena. You can follow me on Instagram at ACO126. I'll have tickets in my bio soon. I'll have the link.
Cool. And is there anybody you want to shout out while we're here?
My sponsors, my friends right here, Billionaire Hats. They're new and upcoming just like me. And
cool.
We're building each other.
How'd you guys find each other?
I just knew him since high school, and he's just a good friend of mine. And
word.
He made his own thing, just Billionaire Hats.
Nice. I like the logo.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Fly, yeah. Shout out to Billionaire Hats. Maywood Boxing Club, of course.
Yeah, Compton, California.
Compton, California. What's up?
Compton, California.
I'm not from there, so I don't think I can say that. No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys. As always, thank you very much for sitting with me this week. I'm Sean, your host of Beat the Count. I'll be back next week with Alfonso Gomez, and maybe Stax will be here to join us to tell us about his experience on the road in Las Vegas. Manny Pacquiao. I'm glad you saw the draw just like me, man. Not a draw. Let me hold on before we take off. What I mean is it was a very even fight. Manny Pacquiao won. Man, I almost just put myself in the dungeon there. All right, guys, thanks a lot. That's all I got for you this evening. Follow me on Instagram at Beat the Count, on Facebook at Beat the Count. I'm learning more about how to use those social media tools every day. And that's it. Peace.